whole thing through because it was a mixture of live and video elements.
Yeah.
I think I mean that's what she does. She was definitely doing what she does. There were a couple of moments it did seem kind of like, oh, okay, well, all right, that's what we're doing here, because the previous hosts did not do that. Of course, they weren't comedians, so maybe why. But yeah, I thought as a host, honestly, I thought Tracy Ellis Ross and Kerry Washington did a really good job on their respective nights. It's not that the other two didn't. I just thought that they I don't know, nailed the delivery a little bit more. I'm not really sure. The whole thing was very weird though, because it was weird. Unconventional convention is what everybody keeps calling it. And that's pretty accurate, because this was I don't think we would ever in any other scenario have seen a Zoom reunion with former candidates who had competed against the person that's accepting the nomination. That's not something we've seen before. And that's what we saw last night. It was kind of a casual little conversation at one point with Bernie and Elizabeth Warren and Mayor Pete and Cory Booker and Andrew Yang and Amy Klobuchar, and they're talking about behind-the-scenes stuff from the campaign trail, which was kind of fun to see. But it was a big contrast to what we would normally see from people who had competed against someone in a primary.
Yeah, kicked off on the first night by one impeached president criticizing another impeached president.
Oh yeah, that's from when both spoke. Yeah. I think one of the other people that hit a home run last night was Braden Harrington. If you saw his speech, he was a 13-year-old boy with the stutter, and he said, he and Joe Biden shared this.
Yep.
I thought his speech was very moving. It took a lot for him to be able to do that, and it was pretty outstanding.
We'll see what the approach is for the Republicans coming up on Monday, and we'll carry that live beginning. Our coverage starts at 8 p.m. Have yourself a good weekend. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thank you. You too.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News. Yeah, the unconventional convention. We'll see what the Republicans take from it next week, because they had the ability to kind of sit back and say, I think I'll take one from column A, maybe I'll take one from column B, but the president is saying that the RNC will have more live speakers than the DNC provided this weekend. More movie theaters opening their doors this weekend. In fact, the largest chain of movie cinemas opening up their gates. Here's Fox's Michelle Polino.
You can smell the popcorn already. Regal Cinemas will open for the first time since March following the global shutdown amid the coronavirus pandemic. Although not all Regal Cinemas will open, the company will stagger the openings for safety. Check their website for open locations near you. 3 new movies will be available to screen.
Sounds like this. It's live. It's friendly. I'm sure that's what your mom meant to do.
No, it's not. Russell Crowe's Unhinged, a road rage thriller about a driver who stalks a woman who not so politely cuts him off. The young adult romance, words on bathroom walls, and tells us about an addict whose life is turned upside down when he's reunited with his daughter. Michelle Polino, Fox News.
And we'll be good canned, by the way. It's now 6:57. Mars has announced that zombie Skittles will be returning for Halloween this year. The packs include regular Skittles as well as rotten zombie Skittles mixed in that actually don't taste that good. They'll be hitting store shelves soon with the rest of the Mars Halloween 2020 lineup, which includes candy such as M&M's Chocolate Popcorn and M&M's Cocoa Crisps. Dunkin' recently released a collection of Dunkin' and Pop Sockets Pop Thirst cup sleeves, which make it easier to tote around your coffee order. The limited edition lineup sales will benefit the Dunkin' Joy in Childhood Foundation, which works to alleviate hunger and provide healthcare supplies to kids in need. And you can get them for a limited time on the Pop Sockets website for $20 each. The pandemic has inspired Taco Bell to find new ways to provide for their fans during this challenging time. As a result, the company has a new restaurant concept in the works that reimagines how we use drive-thrus. It's called Go Mobile, and it includes 2 drive-thru lanes and smart kitchen technology, but the space itself would be much smaller than a traditional Taco Bell restaurant, as the point is for these types of locations to be drive-thrus only. So of these 2 drive-thru lanes, one will be used for people who ordered online ahead of time, and there will also be an option for curbside pickup as well as bellhop employees with tablets that will expedite the ordering process too for those placing their orders on site. The first Go Mobile Taco Bell location won't be open for a few months, but the brand is starting to roll out some of these new convenient features at existing restaurants as of right now. So, Taco Bell, new restaurant concept being rethought, including 2 drive-thru lanes. Count them. Chipotle has decided to be a good sport with their fans and share their recipe for their white rice so everybody can enjoy their twist on the simple staple at home. And they revealed it on their TikTok page after somebody requested it. And it's really not very difficult, apparently. Basically, you make white rice, that's not too tough. You add lime juice and cilantro to a bowl and scoop the rice out and add it to the cilantro lime mixture. Not tough to do, huh? So add a little bit of salt, and that's it. You're done. Not exactly like Colonel Sanders' secret recipe of 11 herbs and spices, but listen, they're giving it away for free, so who's complaining? State lawmakers are poised to introduce legislation that would impose a moratorium on evictions and mortgage foreclosures in Rhode Island during the state of emergency declared because of COVID-19. Katie Mulvaney of the Projo says the measure, to be sponsored by Senator William Conley and Representative Grace Diaz, also calls for the creation of a mediation diversion program in the state district court. That's according to a news release from Homes RI, this coalition of housing advocates. So Conley, who's a Democrat out of East Providence, said the federal government has been unable to respond. That's what he said of the lapsing of the $600 enhanced unemployment insurance benefit and the moratorium on evictions of tenants from some federally subsidized housing. Conley goes on to say it needs to be done right away. We can't wait any longer. It's important for people to understand that we had an affordable housing and homelessness crisis before the pandemic. Further spike in homelessness and foreclosures would have grave public health and access to education consequences. That's what he had to say. So legislation would halt evictions and foreclosures, at least for the time being, during this COVID-19 pandemic. The family of a young man who was killed in a moped crash on Block Island speaks out on safety reform. Here's Anita Buffoni from Eyewitness News.
From restricting the age requirement to rent a moped to 25, only allowing 1 person per moped, or banning mopeds altogether, a variety of ideas were floated about how to make Block Island a safer destination for tourists and locals who live there. The Respect BI Coalition, which is made up of locals, business owners, and first responders, hosted the meeting. The public had the chance to ask questions.
We need to have everybody behaving politely, driving politely. Everybody, not just mopeds. They are a problem. They've been like a carnival.
The group is in communication with the town council regarding their ideas.
Any provision that is not a preventative safety measure is a decision to protect profits over community safety.
Wednesday night, the New Shoreham Town Council voted to reduce the number of mopeds that can be rented daily and reduce the hours of operation. Do you think that the town council is doing enough based on what they voted on yesterday? No. Kim Giarrusso is the aunt of Corey Sandville, the 22-year-old Cranston man who was killed in a moped crash last week. Her partner, Lucien Menard, started an online petition calling for tougher moped licensing standards.
The state should really get involved and mandate that people need to be properly trained in order to ride these things.
There has been a public outcry from Block Island locals on what they call reckless moped driving during the busy summer months. This year, there have been 55 moped accidents, according to the Block Island medical director.
We're not looking to change everything about the island. We're looking to make it safe. And the fact that it has to take a 22-year-old passing to open the eyes over there is just, it's appalling.
Now, a moped rental company was supposed to join the meeting, but canceled last minute due to a scheduling conflict. That group hopes to implement these new moped safety measures ahead of next year's summer season.
That's Anita Buffoni from Eyewitness News. Now it's past 7 o'clock. Today's Projo says the day after Governor Palumbo said the state had not applied to the federal government for a $300 a person boost in unemployment benefits. The State Department of Labor and Training announced yesterday that the department will submit its application by the end of the day. In her weekly coronavirus briefing on Wednesday, the governor said the federal government had set up a program yet for states to apply for the $300 boost. That was part of an executive order issued by President Trump. Now, on Thursday, Labor Department spokesperson Margot Fontaine said internal conversations on Wednesday, along with discussions with officials from other